Man, bruh, guys, man, the Bleach manga special was so great, man. I'm still so like happy with it, man. Like it felt like reading that chapter. It felt like Bleach never went away, man. It felt like Bleach never went away. That 73 page special was great. We got a whole bunch of classic stuff along with some new stuff added to the Bleach verse. So the Bleach manga special, it gave us a whole bunch of new stuff. So like before that, like I said before, Kubo, he really blew the park out with this chapter. So this chapter, it started off more of a slice of life, genre type series because we get to see the daily lives of Ichigo, his wife Orihime, Rukia. We get to see some of the soul captains, old and new. We get to see what they do on a daily basis, and it just like reading this special. It felt like I was like reading an old chapter of Bleach or watching an old episode of Bleach. It felt like Bleach never went away, and it was just so great. And then there's one big thing that we learned about in this chapter that made me just go like, wow, man. So we learned that in the Soul Society that when someone dies, if their Ratsu is so big, they get sent down to hell. If their spiritual pressure is so big that the Soul Society cannot keep them. They can't keep their soul pressure lingering around that area. They have to send them to hell. So people like Jushiro, Ukitake, Unohana, these big powerful characters of the past, right? That died sadly during the Thousand War Blood War arc, right? And then the big one, York too. That means that he's been sent to hell too. It's because of all these powerful characters from the past that have died, and now that they've been trying to send them to hell, that it's created an unbalance in the world of Bleach. So now you got characters like Szayelaporro, and man, seeing him come back, I was just like, man, we haven't seen this guy, since Mayuri, beat him during the Arrancar arc, so many years ago, so it was great seeing him back, and he seems like he seems like he was a tool for whatever big bad that we're gonna get, hopefully in the next few chapters that talk about this, about this new arc. But this whole new what's it called? This new thing that Kubo added to the story is very interesting because all these guys. So I was thinking all these powerful characters from the past, that have died, that it is crazy. So that means like people like Ukitake, Unohana, Szayelaporro, Gin, all these characters, that have died that were very powerful characters. That means that we might see them again in hell, like some different version of them in hell. And besides this new concept that we got from Kubo, which I'm already like really a fan of, we get new characters in this too. I think we got 2 new vice captains. We got this one vice captain that's deaf, right? He's a deaf character, and he has such a cool Zanpakuto, man. He has such a cool Zanpakuto, So his Zanpakuto works kind of like Renji's, except that birds come. He summons like birds. Is a goaded what's it called? A goaded Zanpakuto. Even though we had like a brief, even though we saw this new vice captain briefly, it was very cool seeing this guy. And then the other vice captain besides him was of course Lisa's new vice captain, and she gives off lolly vibes. She gives off that lolly vibe. Taking selfies. Being a person of this generation. She was pretty cool too, very cool character. And then, oh man. And, as I said before, Szayelaporro, man, it was great seeing him again. It was great seeing him again. It was great seeing Ichigo and Renji back in action too. Like I said before, it felt like watching, a past episode of Bleach. You know what I'm saying? But, during Ichigo's fight with Szayelaporro, Szayelaporro is stabbed in the back. You know, he's stabbed in the back, and it looks to be, you know, Ukitake's, you know, Zanpakuto, but much larger, you know. And I'm just like, whoa, what is happening? What is happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, like, even though this thing was a 73-page, you know, special, I wanted so much more, because now Kubo's giving us a new concept, which is, you know, this Hellverse where, you know, these past characters that have died that had such a strong Reiatsu are now being sent to hell, and because of all that stuff, it's creating an unbalance, you know, in the human world, the soul society, and all these other places, man. This Bleach chapter was so great, man. You know, like, my favorite parts from this chapter were definitely seeing, you know, the classic characters, getting introduced to some of these new characters, and of course, seeing old faces like Szayelaporro, you know, come back. You know, a guy that's been dead for like a decade, you know, and then seeing all these new concepts that Kubo is building off, man. You know, I really want Bleach to come back, but you know, I don't want my hopes to be so high for me where I'm like, oh man, I think Bleach might come back, right? But like, you know, this was a great chapter, very great chapter, man. Like, it felt like to me that Bleach never went away, you know, the anime or the manga. Reading this chapter, it felt like that to me, that it, you know, it never went away. It was always here with us, you know. Oh man, right? Like I really hope that this like comes into like, you know, Bleach, you know, coming back as a manga, but you know, I don't want to get my you know, my hopes up, you know, that Bleach might come back. But then again, you know, the anime's coming back, so who knows? Kubo might be deciding to, you know, bring, you know, the manga back. But like, wow, man, this Bleach special was great. Seeing Ichigo, Renji, Rukia, you know, all these characters back, plus the 2 new vice captains, you know, this new concept of, you know, this hell world where, you know, past, you know, characters such as Ukitake, Unohana, you know, Gin, you know, York, you know, all these broken characters of the past, you know, being sent there because of how strong their spiritual pressure is, you know, and then, you know, seeing Szayelaporro again, you know, like I was so surprised seeing him, you know, because, you know, out of all the characters that they brought back, they brought him back, you know what I'm saying? They could have brought back anybody else, you know, that would have possibly, you know, been bigger, but, you know, they brought back him, and I was really happy that Kubo brought, you know, someone like him back, because, you know, he was one of my favorites from that arc, you know, from the Espada, right? He was one of my favorites from the Espada. So seeing him back, you know, it was great, man. It was great seeing him back. You know, it just gave me a huge flashback of the Arrancar arc, you know. You know, my favorite arc in the series, you know. Still my favorite arc in the series, you know. Everything with the Espadas, Aizen, that's peak Bleach, man. Peak Bleach, but, you know, man, I think we're gonna go more in depth with this chapter in like a few days after this one comes out, you know. But like, man, this made my Bleach fan head just go all the way up, man. Because I'm still hyped about all that stuff that I read, man. Oh man, if this turns out to be like a gateway for a new series, then I'm all up for it. Because I miss Bleach so much. Bleach is in my top 5 favorite series of all time, you know. Bleach is one of my favorites, you know, growing up, you know. One of my favorite series growing up. So, you know, I can't wait for more. If Kubo has more, then, you know, I'm all in, man. I'm all in if Kubo has more, man. But like, yeah, man, if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to the channel so you can stay notified when I make more One Piece videos and more anime videos. And yeah, more Bleach is definitely coming out on this channel. This video, this manga chapter special made me want to do more Bleach on the channel. But like, yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.